Okay, this might step on some people's toes, but it's not talked about enough.
I'm going to be the one to say it. I'm going to be the one to say it because no one else is saying it. If you find the right person, there's definitely a lot of benefits to being in a pasta-lobster relationship, but there's also a lot of downsides that I feel like people do not talk about.
You know how people always post the cute TikToks and couple vlogs about interracial or intercultural marriages, the matching outfits, the food swaps, the language lessons. Yes, it's all adorable until you realize there's a whole side of it nobody really talks about. In today's video, we are getting real about what actually goes on behind the filters, the cultural clashes, the family expectations, the identity struggles, and even the weird little misunderstandings that can turn into big moments. Because love is beautiful, but when two worlds collide, it takes more than just chemistry to make it work. So guys, welcome to today's video. If you're new to this space, kindly subscribe to the channel, like the video, share, leave your thoughts in the comment section, and let us get right into the video.
Okay, this might step on some people's toes, but it's not talked about enough. When you decide to date or marry into a different race or culture, not everyone is going to be willing to accept the culture that comes with that. And I'm not saying to get rid of your own, absolutely not. But when you do decide to date or marry into someone who has a different background than yourself, you do have to respect and engage with the world that that person comes from. I'm in an interracial marriage, and I've built a lot of content around learning, loving, and sometimes even laughing through the cultural experience. But lately I've gotten a lot of comments like, oh, I've been married 10 years and never learned the language, or I don't do any of that cultural stuff. And honestly, it's kind of hard to hear, because here's the truth. Marriage is about meeting in the middle. And when two cultures collide, that takes intentional effort. And honestly, that's why I think interracial marriages have higher divorce rates, because people love the idea of the relationship, but are not willing to work on learning and honoring another culture. This isn't about guilt. This is about love through action. I don't do everything right. I try. I learn. I show up for my husband's culture because that's a part of loving him. And at the end of the day, it's not about being perfect. It's about showing up, learning the culture, eating the food, and showing love with effort, because that's what makes a marriage stronger, especially when two worlds come together.
I'm going to be the one to say it. I'm going to be the one to say it because no one else is saying it. If you find the right person, there's definitely a lot of benefits to being in a pasta-lobster relationship, but there's also a lot of downsides that I feel like people do not talk about. I've been with Mr. Man for about 6 years now, or almost 6 years, and the BS we've dealt with, no one warned me about it. If this is someone that you love, where are you gonna live? I met Mr. Man in California, and if you know California, very diverse, there's so many different races, colors, backgrounds, all that stuff. It's chill, it's fine. Then we had to move to the Midwest. I literally felt like I'm living in the 50s with the way people treated me. I mean this from both sides of the races. People were pissed. People were pissed. We have had everything from people throwing fruit at us, yelling at us, accosting us, dirty looks, dirty stares. You will get it all. You will get it all, especially in the Midwest. Just be prepared. Another big one is raising children. I think people misunderstand how challenging it can be to raise children from two different backgrounds, two different races to be specific. If you don't already live in a diverse place, your kids may have a hard time. Yes, it is 2024, but the truth is race makes people really uncomfortable. Another thing that no one really talks about is people fetishize your children. You know how many times I've gotten comments of like, oh my gosh, your babies are going to be so beautiful and so sexy and so wonderful because they're mixed. That's creepy. That's a baby you're talking about. That is very creepy and highly inappropriate. Another big one is family. Like, you are in a family that does not agree with interracial relationships, you will have such a hard time, especially if you think this is going to be a real relationship that's going to last and you're going to get married and have kids. Best believe your family's gonna have a lot of opinions. Another thing I notice is people trying to invalidate your relationships. This can even come from friends because they don't fully understand it. You'll get comments like, oh, he only likes you because you're black. Some people have told Mr. Man that he needs to be careful with me because he could become a baby father really easily. There's a lot of things that people will say, sometimes to your face, sometimes behind your back. I firmly believe that Mr. Man was put on this earth to be the love of my life. I'm not even joking. I love that man down pat. You need to go where you're loved and find someone who loves, adores, respects you, treats you right, takes care of you, treats you like the princess and the queen that you are. All that stuff. But also keep in mind that there may be some bullshit you're gonna have to deal with.
Me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the concept, use, and utility of shoes is a cultural difference between foundationally Black Americans in the United States and Black Americans that have other countries of origin. I'm pretty sure every Black person is familiar with the term Buster Brown and Stride Right. Everybody had those white walking shoes, and you needed to have them white shoes with the high tops around the ankles so that you could support the feet so that the children could walk. My husband's perspective on shoes as a first-generation Black American is that babies should be barefoot. Shoes are useless, and all of the best runners are fast because they're used to walking barefoot. And shoes actually hinder the ability for children to learn how to walk and experience things because they're supposed to be barefoot. This actually drove me insane when my children were younger because we would be outside doing one thing or another. And if my kids did not have shoes on, I would tell them, hey, where are your shoes? Go put your shoes on. But if they were outside with my husband, it was perfectly fine for them to be outside barefoot. When I was growing up, my granny told me that that's how you get worms, walking around outside barefoot, that the worms could actually come up through the skin in the bottom of your feet and give you worms and parasites. So I'm literally thinking that what my husband's cultural beliefs are going to harm my children. It's one of those things that I had to pick my battles on. So if they were with me, they had shoes on. If they were with him, they may or may not have had shoes on, until one day my son was outside without shoes on and he stepped in a fire ant bed and he had to go to the hospital because that was the day we realized that he's allergic to pretty much everything. I'm not trying to say that one belief is right and one is wrong, but when we talk about culture, a lot of times people are thinking about food, language, music, religion, and it's also the way you think. The way that you think about things, your beliefs and your norms are often based on culture.
It's 2025. No one cares about interracial couples. Not true. And I wish that were true, but it's not true. Let me tell you, we knew going into dating, Shaundi, if you're new here, Shaundi's Black, my boyfriend, and I'm white. People were going to stare, people were going to make comments. We knew it. We knew it was going to happen. We aren't stupid. We know that there's some people who still have an issue with that, right? It happens in public. But yesterday, I posted a very lighthearted video that we thought was so funny. We were like, oh, we can't wait to show our friends and family that. It's so funny. Because I was cooking a dump meal. We're moving. There's stuff everywhere. Lazy. Dumped it in the pan. Was put it in the oven. We're ready to go eat and go bed, right? So he walked in, and he made a joke about me not seasoning my food enough. So funny. The way we joke back and forth, and he's hilarious, right? Post the video. Immediately a platform for people to bash on us for being interracial. You can joke about my cooking all day long. I don't care. Half my humor is self-degrading. That is my vibe, right? Joke about how awful my food is. Do not go in my comments talking about how you hate white people, hate Black people, hate us together. We're an abomination and our future children are doomed, and we're pathetic people for potentially having children in the future. Real comments that we got yesterday. Some of the comments were so inappropriate that I had to sit on my phone most of the day, go through and delete them when they popped up. Because they were so bad, I'm not going to detail, gross even, that I didn't want it on my platform. And I know they weren't coming from me, but I didn't even want them there. That's how bad it was. That's how bad it was. Now, I will go ahead and say we have a lot of people in our inner circle. They don't think twice about it. Super sweet. We have a lot of supportive people in our life, but it is 100% still an issue. So if you think that it isn't, you're wrong. And it's so sad that it's still an issue in 2025. Last time I checked, Jesus made Shaundi, Jesus made me. We're equal. We take care of each other, and that's all that should matter. And we're happy. Leave it alone. It's sad. Get off my soapbox, but do better.
I want to talk for a minute about interracial marriage. I first met my husband in 1995 at a small Christian school we attended. He's Black and I'm white, and a lot of people had some problems with that. This was 30 years ago, and back then we would face things like people slamming doors on our faces or people coming up to us and calling us disgusting. We were just two teenage kids who met and fell in love. We didn't give a crap about each other's skin color, and we didn't get why any of this was such a big deal to begin with. We really had no idea that it was only 20 years prior that interracial marriage was made legal via the Loving decision. But we were never trying to make any political statement in being together. We just loved each other. After high school, we broke up and went our separate ways for a while, only to reconnect as adults and get back together. Now we're married with a big, beautiful, blended family. You would think, it being 30 years down the line, that we would have some progress from where we started in 1995. But that is not the case. There's rumblings now about the possibility of gay marriage being revisited. Many assume if they are somehow successfully able to get rid of gay marriage, that interracial marriage is next on the chopping block. There are people out there who call us alarmists for believing that any of this could remotely happen. But I've read Project 2025, and I know this is the exact goal. I loudly support anybody's right to marry. My interracial marriage has no effect on yours, neither does gay marriage. My marriage is beautiful. My family is the most important thing to me. To hear people throwing around my family as if we're just a political talking point, something that can be erased or go away, that angers me to no end. It's not just annoying that 30 years later we're going backwards at such a frantic pace. It's alarming. And if there's anyone out there who thinks they'll take my family or my marriage away from me, they've got another thing coming.
The hardest part of being married to a black woman is every day having to deal with how sexy she is.
So, guys, when I tell you that this intercultural, interracial marriage thing, if you go to the comment section of creators that are into this kind of relationship, guys, you're going to ask yourself that, are they really humans? Like the people that dropped these comments, are they really humans? The comments are so wild and insane and out of this world. Really. And it's how some people think, forgetting that we are all humans and we have one thing in common, and that is death. Whether you're a white, black, you're straight, you're gay, you're religious, you're atheist, or even pirate, whatever at all, one thing joins us together, that we are all going to die and we are all going to be buried in that 6 feet below the earth's surface. Whichever, whether you're going to be cremated, you're going to be buried, which whatever at all, we are all humans and we are going to die one day. That is just the important thing we all need to know as humans. So first of all, let's look at the family dynamics. This one is a very huge one. You might have one family that's totally open, supportive, cheering you on, and another that's silently judging every little thing you do. Suddenly, a casual visit turns into a cultural negotiation. Who sits where at dinner? Which holiday traditions do we follow? And yes, your parents will ask why your partner doesn't do something the right way according to their culture. It's awkward, but it's real. Then there's the identity stuff. Oh, being with someone from a different background can make you think a lot about your own roots. Suddenly, you're learning new languages, new cultural norms, maybe even rethinking traditions you never questioned before, and your partner is going through the same thing. So now you are both figuring out how to blend two worlds without losing yourself. Spoiler alert, it's messy sometimes. What about the communication? Oh boy, even if you speak the same language, the way you express love, frustration, or sarcasm can differ widely from culture to culture. What seems like a joke to you might feel like a slight to them, and also vice versa. It takes patience, understanding, and a lot of laughing at yourself when you totally misunderstand each other. And let's not forget friends and social circles. Some people are genuinely curious and supportive, but others, well, they can be awkwardly ignorant. You'll get the occasional, wow, how do you even make this work? Or does your culture allow that? And yes, it can be annoying, but it also gives you a chance to educate or just laugh it off, because humor is survival in these situations. But here's the thing, all these challenges, they also make the relationship stronger. You learn to compromise, communicate better, and really appreciate the uniqueness of your partner. You celebrate not just each other, but the mix of worlds you're creating together. And trust me, that's what every awkward dinner and cultural misunderstanding. At the end of the day, interracial and intercultural marriages aren't about differences being a problem. They are about embracing differences, learning from them, and building a life that's richer because of them. It's messy, it's challenging, it's beautiful, and that's exactly what makes it worth it. So that's the real talk on interracial and intercultural marriages, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. At the end of the day, love isn't about having the same background or culture. It's about understanding, growing together, and celebrating the differences that make your relationship unique. If you've enjoyed this video, please do not forget to hit the like button, share your own experiences in the comment section, and of course, subscribe to the channel. And we are going to see in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, love does not need a filter, it just needs honesty, patience, and a little bit of laughter along the way. Thank you so much, and see you in the next one. Peace out.